Right. Hi, I'm Anita Adams with First Weekend Club. I'm here at Berlinale and the European Film Market with a very talented and lovely, wonderful, passionate Ingrid Veninger. Hello, Ingrid.
Hello.
Thank you so much for meeting with me today. You're one of those people that really inspire me. You've done so much in the film industry. You've got something like, I think, 45 actor credits, 25 producer credits, 9 writer director credits. I love IMDb. Are those accurate numbers? It's impressive the stuff that you have done. What is your first and number one passion?
Well, I mean, everything I do sort of comes out of the foundation of acting. I love actors. I love performance. I love this whole idea of mask and authenticity and what authenticity is. And so I'm passionate about making films because it gets me working with people, and I love people, and I love relationships. So it gets me into relationships that I really otherwise would not have.
Very cool. You started Punk Films in 2008. 2003. And you have on your description of your site that you have a manifesto that nothing is impossible. And when I think of you, I think of a woman that will conquer everything and all. You know, you are a mother as well, and you've started up the Fem Labs. And why don't you talk about the Fem Lab, actually, and tell our members what that's about?
Sure. Well, just on the tip of nothing is impossible, I think sometimes it's interpreted as a really earnest thing, like, you can do it. It's not so much that, it's more that when you start something, if you have the passion to do it, something's going to come out of it. So nothing happening if you take action is impossible. That's what I kind of mean by that. It has two meanings, but it's not so much, it's I guess on some days it can be the rah-rah thing, but it's more that
if you're driven and you want something to come together, you can make it happen.
Yeah, and you just have to start.
And don't give up.
Yeah, and see it through. Or sometimes things don't necessarily have to be seen through. Maybe the experience is just in starting them and you benefit from that, and sometimes things just have to be left. Like, you have to know when to hold on to things. You have to know when to let go of things also. But just that by creating, the act of creating is such a big, I think, leap of faith unto itself that something is going to come of it. So nothing is impossible.
Very cool. So Fem Labs.
Yeah, the Punk Films Fem Lab. Well, that really came out of that. I've been touring to a lot of film festivals these last 5-6 years, starting with only Nurse Fighter Boy and now with the Animal Project. And I've been seeing incredible films by women that really genuinely excite me. But I noticed that the women writers, directors don't come back with a second or third or fourth feature film regularly. Sometimes it's huge gaps between movies, which is understandable. It's really hard to get a movie made. Sometimes the films are deemed not that great, and so they don't get into film festivals, they don't get distribution, they don't get to an audience. So that takes a little bit of time to sort of pick yourself back up and make another one. Or sometimes the films are incredibly successful and there's this mounting pressure of what are you going to come back with, and you can get paralyzed by that also. I mean, whatever failure is, success can be just as daunting and just as debilitating, sometimes. So I think I came back in the fall, November 2013, with a sort of fire to just personally wanting to see more films written and directed by women, fiction, features. I think we do better in documentary, we do all right in television. We certainly are producing a lot of films, but as writers and directors, I want to see more of us on the ground and in the field and on our screens. So I just put on Facebook, I'm looking to launch a laboratory for women who are writers, directors who have already completed a feature film, because I think my 1K wave was really about, you didn't have to have a feature, you could have a short, it's just about making something with $1,000. This was more about continuing and, sort of helping fuel women who wanted to write and direct features to do it more consistently. So I put it out there, women responded, they had to be Canadian, and I got 20 submissions. I looked at all of their features. They weren't necessarily just one or two features. Sometimes, like Anais Granovsky has made 3 features. I loved the films. I met with the women, sometimes Skyped. I really wanted to have women from across Canada, but the monthly meetings happen in Toronto. So that's sort of a factor for some people. Danishka comes in from Winnipeg, Sophia comes in from Montreal, the other four of us are in Toronto, and Melissa Leo kind of stood up at the Whistler Film Festival with the $6,000 and is our champion, is our hero. So that money was shared between the women. So it's a little bit of a writing sort of honorarium and also helps with travel costs or any out-of-pocket costs.
That was a big risk to stand up in front of everybody at the Whistler Film Festival. There was a couple hundred people, I think, in the room, and you were receiving an award, and you just kind of put everybody on the spot. It was very, very bold and very courageous, and kudos to you, because I think that's what it takes to make films, and you just have it in spades.
Yeah, I think it was very risky in the sense that, yes, absolutely, when I first I was getting this award from the Alliance of Women Film Journalists for the Animal Project, and then because the award was given to me by women, suddenly my brain kind of surged with the Punk Films FemLab, and I just put it out there. And it was 6 women. We'll be writing six scripts in 6 months. Who can step up with $6,000 for a first look at these scripts, you know? And it was silent. And I thought, okay, well, no one might step up, and that's that story. I still believe you should take risks, whatever. And then I started counting down from 6, and it was 6, 5, and then I think before I hit 4, Melissa Leo shot up and was like, I'll do it, hands in the air. I didn't know who she was. She was sitting at the variety table, and it was only until she approached me afterwards and said, and as she was walking towards me, I went, oh, hell no, Melissa Leo, you got to be kidding me. And then we hugged and I cried. And she said, we're going to do this thing. I'm all about it. I will get you the money before the end of the holidays. I might share the $6,000 with Jane Fonda. Is that okay? I was like, oh, girl.
I don't care. Just give me the money. And we're going to make this. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I've been in contact with her, and we've emailed, and she's incredibly responsive, but she's let it be our thing. And she'll have a look at these scripts in June, and then we'll see what happens. I, for one, am writing a role for Melissa Leo. So I don't know.
Well, I just think it's absolutely brilliant, and you just continue to inspire me with your courage and your passion for what you do. And I know our members will be inspired and continue to be inspired by the stories you tell as well. So thank you very much for being here with me today.
Yeah, it's awesome to see you in Berlin.
Yes. Yeah. All right, that's it. We're in Berlin, keeping an eye on Canada, and yeah, we'll talk to you later.